This is Pet Life Radio. Let's talk pets.
The views expressed by guests on this program do not necessarily represent the views of the host or owners of the Doggy Diva show and do not necessarily constitute endorsement of products. Medical information discussed by guests on this program are those of the guests and is only for informational purposes and should not replace medical advice by your local veterinarian professional.
Hi, this is Susan Marie from the Doggy Diva show. Coming up this week, another timely pet tip from Monica Leighton, the benefits of probiotics for your pet, and how the love of a shelter dog helps a woman recover from personal tragedy. That's what's on our show today. Let's get to it.
Hey, did you hear that? What is that? It's the bark heard round the world. The Doggy Diva show. Here's Susan Marie.
Hi, welcome to the Doggy Diva show, the show for animal lovers. I'm your host, Susan Marie, and as always, I'm joined by my canine co-hosts, the Doggy Divas themselves, Francesca, Coco, and our newest little diva, Miss Olive. Miss Olive is the cute little Italian Greyhound rescue in the picture with the microphone. Thank you for joining us today as we bring the experts in the pet and animal world right to you. So go grab a cup of coffee and your pet's favorite treat, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Molly, here's your dinner. Zeus, that's not your food.
Don't let that happen to your precious cat. Elevate your cat's eating experience with the Cat Tree Tray. The Cat Tree Tray keeps your cat's food off the floor and conveniently located on the cat tree. It's the perfect way to eat. It's a beautiful wrought iron tray that easily attaches to your cat tree and keeps dogs and other critters out of your cat's dish. A must for multi-pet households. There's a 6-inch tray for large bowls and a 4-inch tray for smaller bowls. Purchase your Cat Tree Tray today. Go right now to cattreetray.com. That's cattreetray.com. cattreetray.com.
Let's Talk Pets on PetLifeRadio.com.
Hey, Monica. You know, with all of the stuff, I know we had our big hurricane show in June, but with all of the hurricanes that we're in the midst of it right now, can you go through an update on the pet kit? Because the pet disaster kit is so important. People are asking me, what's in the pet disaster kit? Can you help me with my pet disaster kit? And so I thought this would be a great time to reboot it.
Yes, having an animal disaster kit is such a vital thing. Having everything you have all in one place, that way if you need to evacuate, you can just pick it up and go, is definitely the way to be prepared. Starting out with our pets, obviously we need some kind of Rubbermaid or airtight container that is waterproof as well. Make sure that you include plenty of, Ziploc baggies, things of that nature to keep everything dry. Have all your pets' records, their vaccine history, basic instructions. That way, if you go to a shelter or someplace that you're not going to be the one taking care of the pet, that the people that are have all the instructions, any medications there are, clearly delineated on the paper, and also an up-to-date picture on your pet. That way, if you are to become separated, you have, a photo of what your pet looks like, and it helps with identification. Keep all of that in your pet kit inside a Ziploc bags. That way it's waterproof. You want to make sure you have at least a 3-week supply of food and water, disposable bowls. If you have a pet that gets canned food, making sure, besides the cans, that you have simple things like automatic can openers. Make sure you have an extra flashlight, batteries. If you have a cat, making sure that you have a litter box, something that can fit inside of the carrier with that pet. And what I usually recommend too is the disposable litter boxes are very easy. If you don't have the actual disposable litter boxes, you can use cardboard shirt boxes. and you just put the litter inside the little, half a cardboard shirt box. They can fold down flat, really small, and then they're disposable. So you just put them in once a day, throw them out. I always recommend having the big gallon size, Ziploc bags. That way, when you do throw them out, you can put them inside of the Ziploc bag or inside of a trash can or trash bag. That way, if you are in a shelter someplace, that you don't have the smell after a couple days. Another thing is proper identification for your pets. Any of your pet's medications, at least a 3 to 4 week supply. If you're in an area that you are evacuating or that has any kind of, direct hit or flooding, even, just electricity being out, that will make it very hard for some places to be open for business. So you want to make sure that, especially with your pet's medications, that you have a 3 to 4 week supply, simply because your veterinarian may not, be open for a while afterwards. And if you can get it even further out, then I would, definitely recommend doing that. And not only your pet's, medical medications, but also your preventatives. If you're going to have a pet that's, going out in the elements and they're, coming up due for a flea prevention or something like that, make sure you have an extra, flea product in your, basket or container. That way you're not getting any kind of parasites or fleas from other pets or from the surroundings. Because as we know, flooding brings all that stuff out. And the last thing you want is to not be up to date on your flea prevention that's on your pet and then go into a situation where they're going to be out in the elements and come down with a parasite. Basic first aid products as well are really important. You can have the nicest dog in the world, but if that dog becomes injured, you want to be able to wrap the leg or, have tweezers to, remove splinters or glass or things that they may step on, basic bandages and gauze. But make sure you have a muzzle. And like I said, you can have the nicest dog in the world, but if they're in pain and they hurt, always make sure that, you have some kind of muzzle in with your safety kit. That way, if you do not have a veterinarian right there, but you need to do something and work on the pet, then you have the ability to do so. And just getting these things all together, having them ready to go. And I always tell clients, if you see some of the photos that they had of some of the rescues from Harvey recently, and things like that. So many people are having to, carry big crates or, having to rescue all these different animals. So I always recommend having some kind of safety vest for your dog. That way, if they are having to go through waters, they do not become too exhausted. Always take your pets with. And I always recommend also, they have these great little flotation devices that you can get to actually put in your carrier. For example, mine, I used, in the kids department at like Target, Walmart. They have these inflatable bumpers that you put in your bathtub for kids. That way, when they're just starting to sit up on their own and they're in the bath, they don't, hurt themselves if they fall over. But those are the perfect type things to blow up around your crate. That way they're floating and then they're not just, sinking and having to be, a big heavy weight that you're carrying. Even little kiddie pools, things of that nature, work out really well. So I always recommend you have something like that if possible. And all of that can be deflated, put right into your little box with your crate or carrier. And then when you need it, you're ready to go.
Well, I think that those are terrific tips. And Monica, you're right. We looked at all of the pictures of what those affected by Harvey and the dogs that were being taken out. People need to remember it's very important to take your pets with you whenever possible, and also make sure they have their collar and ID on. And I know that that's something very special. And sometimes people have even said, "I don't leave the dog's collar on when I'm in the house." Well, when we're in the midst of a storm or something, it's very important that you have your dog's collar on and that you have the current ID on it, the contact information. So I think it's going to be an answer to a lot of people's questions.
And I know next week we'll talk about microchips and, get a lot of that information out there over the next couple of weeks.
Coming up, how a shelter dog helps a woman recover from personal tragedy. Stay tuned.
Hanukkah, the German Shepherd that I rescued, was stinky, skinny, and scrawny, full of skin rashes and scratching. And I started feeding Hanukkah Dynavite, and he became such a happier, itch-free, stink-free dog. I dug deeper into the website.
DINOVITE.com.
What if, in addition to Dynavite, we do the raw beef and the egg diet and see what happens? Forget all these 50-pound bags of formulated, extruded, processed cereal bits that cost a ton of money anyways. This dog's as close to a wolf as you can get. They're carnivores. With just the raw meat and the eggs and the Dynavite and Super Omega on top of it, it just balances out his body and his mind and his spirit. It's unbelievable. Hey, if you're thinking about rescuing a dog, you got to start them out on Dynavite, DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
Let's talk pets.
Let's talk pets
On Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. Our guest today is Jessi Burns, a young woman who lived through the pain and isolation of her boyfriend's suicide thanks to the playful energy and unconditional love of a shelter dog named Andi. Their story is featured in the new film, Jessi and Andi, from National Animal Welfare Initiative Mutual Rescue. And Jessi, this is just such an honor to have you on the show. And I got to tell you that what you and Andi have done shows us all how shelter pets really do help us heal.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think one of the things that Mutual Rescue is really trying to do, and what I am very happy to be able to lend my story to, is to change the conversation from people or animals to people and animals, and to show people that when you are helping pets in your local community, you're also helping people. Because just as often as we save animals, animals also save us.
Oh, that's so beautiful. And I have to tell you, I saw your video and your story really moved me, and it really took great courage to open up and tell your story. Whom did you wish to reach out to with this Mutual Rescue film and your story?
So one of the things that I really realized after I went through my own experience when my boyfriend committed suicide was when I would tell other people my story, almost everybody had their own story about that, about, oh, I used to have a friend and they ended up taking their own life, or, oh, I had an uncle. And to me, that's so shocking because we never talk about it. I think there's such a stigma around suicide and mental health issues in general, and so we just don't talk about it. And I think that that is something that really contributes to the problem. You know, I think that people, especially if they are in a really dark place like that, they feel so alone. And so they feel like they can't reach out because people aren't talking about this topic. And so my hope with sharing my story and sharing my film was to really let people know that they're not alone and that other people have gone through this experience, and to really sort of break down that barrier and start having a conversation about suicide and mental health issues.
Now, what would you say to people who have experienced the loss of a loved one from suicide?
So I think there's a really unique sort of pain and grief that comes when you lose someone to suicide. You know, at least I know for me, I really got caught up in my own head about asking, like, what could I have done to stop it, and was it my fault? And, you know, it's just really easy to get wrapped up into that. And so anybody else that has experienced that, I would say, you know, try to realize that it wasn't your fault, that, you know, the constant questioning is normal, but, you know, you couldn't have done anything to change it. And also I would say, you know, really reach out to family and friends. I know that when I went through that was really the only way, besides adopting Andi, but that was the only way that really got me through this, was reaching out to family and friends and letting them help me and, you know, be with me and talk to me. And so I would just suggest people, you know, reach out to family and friends.
Now, did you work with any support groups or anything?
I did. So I ended up going to some local support groups. They're called SOS groups, so Survivors of Suicide. So they're for people who have survived the loss of a loved one due to suicide. And so it was a really wonderful thing for me because it allowed me to be around people who really understood exactly what I was going through because they had also lost a loved one, whether it was a child or a family member or a significant other like I did. And so it was so incredibly helpful to be able to talk with no judgment and just hear other people's stories and to realize that I wasn't alone.
That's so important and that's so beautiful. Now, I have to tell you, I am in love with your co-star. I think that she's absolutely adorable. Now, what connected you so strongly to her?
So it really was through a photo. Right after my boyfriend passed away, really the only thing that I found that would get my mind off of all of these questions of why was looking at pictures of dogs online. It really just felt like that was the next step that I needed to take, was to bring a dog into my life. That was really the only thing that would make me feel a little bit better. And so I just stumbled across this picture of this really sad, pitiful, lonely-looking dog that was available for adoption at the local shelter. And I just felt this immediate, strong connection with her because I think that she looked exactly how I was feeling inside. And so after seeing that, I just immediately was connected to her, and I knew that I had to go and meet her.
Oh, that's so sweet. And I loved her photo, the photo of her on in the video, because it reminded me so much of a dog that I had years ago, and it just touched my heart. Now, what can we learn from Andi?
I think one of the biggest things that I learned from Andi was how to live in the moment and to find joy in the littlest of things. You know, I see Andi, and when we go out in the backyard and I throw a tennis ball for her to fetch, or when I get out the leash and we go for a walk, she's just so happy, and all she's thinking about is what we're doing right now. And I think that we could all be better about that. I know that I can, as far as not worrying about the past or about the future, and just appreciating the little things and the little things in life and being happy with what we have.
Oh, absolutely. And this video, I absolutely love the video. It truly touched me. What were your impressions when you first watched the film?
I was really overwhelmed, I think, the first time that I saw it, but also so happy with how it turned out. I think when the filming was happening, it was really hard to know what the outcome would be and what the final product would look like. You know, especially I was very scared, honestly, with sharing such a personal story. It's something that was incredibly traumatic for me and was very, very hard to tell my story. So it was, very apprehensive. I was very apprehensive about how it would turn out, but I think that Mutual Rescue did an incredible job with capturing my story, and I'm so incredibly honored to be a part of this initiative.
Well, I'm telling you that the video, the way, you told it was absolutely beautiful, and Mutual Rescue did a fabulous job filming it. I mean, it's very touching. Now, Mutual Rescue and PetSmart Charities, they're actually awarding a $10,000 to a rescue group of your choice. Who was it that you selected, and why did you do that?
Yeah, so thanks to the generosity of Mutual Rescue and also PetSmart Charities, PetSmart Charities was the sponsor of the 2017 film series, and the films would not have been made without them. So I am incredibly grateful to them for their generosity. But with the $10,000 that they gave to me to designate to an animal organization, I actually split it between two. So I gave it to the Humane Society of the Pikes Peak region, which is where I adopted Andi from. And then I also designated $5,000 to Foothills Animal Shelter, which is actually where I currently work. After adopting Andi, I decided that I really wanted to work with animals. And so I wanted to recognize both of those organizations because they've had such an incredible impact on my life.
Well, it's very generous of PetSmart Charities. I mean, it's really great what they're doing, and also being in rescue, and also working at a shelter, I know how important it is. These donations are so important, and I commend them for doing that. And it's so nice that you split it between the two shelters. Now, can you tell us a little bit about your work at the shelter? I mean, Andi helped inspire that. So can you tell us what your work in the shelter's like?
Yeah, so after adopting Andi, it really was like a light bulb for me of like, wow, I would love to work with animals and to feel like I'm also having a part in helping people find, their furry companions. And so I was working at a previous organization and wasn't even really looking for a new job, but I saw a job become available at Foothills Animal Shelter, which is in Golden, Colorado, and I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. It was like perfect time, it was just the perfect thing. And so I ended up applying and getting it. And so I've been here for about 3.5 years, and I do marketing and communications. But I think that my favorite part of my job is I get to write all of our success stories. So I get to follow animals from when they first come to the shelter to when they're adopted out into their forever home. And I get to interview people who have just adopted their new companion, and hearing how joyful and happy people are with their new pet is just, it makes me so happy. And I so appreciate feeling like I have a part in helping people find, their new love of their life, like I found Andi.
Oh, that's really special. That's so nice. And I'm so glad that you are working with a shelter, because they can actually benefit, and the people who are, who you're promoting can benefit from that. Since the film was made and now that it's being aired, what changes have happened in your life?
So I actually have a boyfriend, and we just celebrated our 2-year anniversary, and he has been so incredibly supportive through this entire process. I know that it can't be easy for him to hear me talk about a past relationship. And when I was actually selected for filming from Mutual Rescue, I spoke with him and I just asked him, like, how do you feel about me doing this? And he was so incredible. And he said, Jessi, this is your story. This is your past, and this is why you are who you are. And I want you to tell your story. So he has been so incredibly supportive and amazing through this whole process. And then I guess the other big thing is that my boyfriend and I actually ended up adopting a dog from the shelter where I currently work about a year ago. He is a little 1-year-old border collie mix, and he is absolutely crazy, but he and Andi absolutely love each other. Andi's about 6.5 now, so she's been slowing down recently, but with Winston in her life, they just play, and it's almost like she's a puppy again. It's really, really great.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And it's so great that you have Matt and Winston in your life with Allie. And, I just want to give a special thank you to you and to Mutual Rescue for sharing your story and what you're doing for others who experience this, which is an extremely sensitive subject, and promoting adoptions for homeless pets from shelters and rescues. I mean, it's so important that you're doing that. And I want to thank you for being on the show and sharing that.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for having me.
Well, we wish you the best. We wish you well. And I hope that everyone gets a chance to look at the video. Can you give the information to the listeners who want to go watch this video, which I'm going to tell everyone. It's an extremely beautifully well done video, and I love it.
Thanks. You can visit mutualrescue.org to watch my film, and there you can actually also sign up for the Mutual Rescue newsletter, where you'll get information about the 2018 film series, so you'll be the first one to know if you sign up for those emails of when those will be released, and that's also where you can watch my film.
Oh, that's so wonderful. And again, the film is Jessi and Andi, and it's one of the Mutual Rescue films. And I want to thank you both for everything that you're doing to promote adoption and to show just how special a pet is in the healing process.
Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you. And we'll be back in just a moment. Hi, Doggy Diva Show listeners. Susan Marie here to take just a half a minute to let you know how much we appreciate your being with us every week to hear great dog tips you can use with your pet, some great stories about rescues, fostering, and some heartwarming stories about second chances for pets who are now in loving forever homes. Be sure to go to our website, thedoggydiva.com, to see pictures of Miss Olive and other dogs we talk about on the show and get to know us a little better. That's thedoggydiva.com, DOGGY. We appreciate your feedback too. Okay, let's get back to the show. Coming up, does your dog have a shiny, healthy coat? If not, we just might have the answer for you. Stay with us.
It's designerpetsweaters.com. Hand-knitted designer sweaters for your precious pup or cool cat. Beautiful couture patterns for your pets, including custom-knitted formal wear, casual wear, yachting, and even sports-themed. Many designer pet sweaters include feathered tammy hats, top hats, and a lot of sparkle. Each sweater includes leg loops, front paw sleeves, and leash opening. Visit designerpetsweaters.com to order your four-legged fashions today. Your pets will stay warm for the winter and be runway ready. Large or small, we fit them all. designerpetsweaters.com.
Let's talk pets
Let's talk pets
on Pet Life Radio.
Pet Life Radio.
PetLifeRadio.com.
Welcome back, everyone. And I think that those of you who have talked to me about Miss Olive and her health and different things that are going on, and there's her coat so shiny now, and she has a little bit of a digestive issue, but things are abating. And I give credit to my next guest and Bil-Jac Foods, because she turned me on to something that has helped Olive a lot. We want to welcome Kim Gaebelein. She is our pet nutrition contributor from Bil-Jac Foods. Hey, Kim, how are you?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Good. Well, I have to thank you because you told me about Breakthrough Biotics, which is so easy to use for a pet parent, and it benefits the pet so much. I mean, I have living proof sitting right next to me. So I wanted the listeners to know all about this. So can you just tell us a little bit about, and this is new from Bil-Jac, right?
Yeah. We've just come out with this in the last 6 months, and it's really great because, like you said, it's about being able to help your dog have a healthy digestive tract and have a healthy immune function. And so it's really great because it makes it really easy to do that, right? All those things sound kind of difficult, and it's tough for some people. So I'm thrilled to hear that Miss Olive is doing great on it and loves it. That's really great to hear.
Mm-hmm. And I have a lot to do, and I'm like going, oh my gosh, this, you don't have to put it in the refrigerator. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. It's not one of the powders, which I did use on her before, and it's really hard to mask that in food, by the way, the powders. This tastes great. You just spray it on, and I just put it in the corner with their treats, and I'm telling you, it works out easy for me as a pet parent, and she's benefited because her little digestive system seems to be settling down with it.
Yeah, well, like you said, it comes in a 4-ounce bottle. It's really great because what I do is I just set it up on the counter next to my food, and because my dog uses it, he loves it. He's been doing great on it, and I just put it up on the counter. And then when I feed him, I feed him twice a day. I just he's only 10 pounds, so he gets one spray in the morning, one spray at night, and it's really easy for me to remember to do it. If it was in the refrigerator, that would be a problem, or if he didn't like to eat it, that would be a little bit more challenging. But certainly people are learning more and more about probiotics and how they can be helpful to our systems. And so certainly for dogs, that's also true. Dogs also have bacteria, beneficial bacteria, right, which is what probiotics are in their gut. And so when you have that healthy balance of those good, healthy bacteria, then what happens is that you have, healthy digestion, and it also helps with immune function. So again, it's one of those things where it's a little simple thing you can do. We wanted it to be easy. We wanted it to taste terrific and have dogs get excited about it. And so that's really why we wanted to put it together in this unique way. Like you said, there's a lot of messy powders out there, and there's a lot of pills out there. But this has really been phenomenal. We've really been getting great feedback back from people who, like Miss Olive, have been having challenges maybe with soft stool. It could potentially help with some gas, those kinds of things. And so helping to, see if that can make a difference, it's just an easy way to be able to do it.
And also, I noticed that her coat's been shinier. So that must mean that it's helping whatever her food get to the right places. And you're right, with all that helpful bacteria in there. We talked about the powders, we talked about the capsules. You don't have to measure anything out. All I do is, an Olive weighs, a little over 8 pounds. So I spray one spray in the morning, one spray at night. There's not measuring. It's very simple to use. And I think it just Knowing that you're helping your pet and knowing that, it's really foolproof to do it with this.
And it's also an easy way to be able to get them 12 probiotics. And so a lot of the probiotics that are out there are maybe 1 or 2 or even 3 strains. So we really wanted to have a broad spectrum probiotic, right, to be able to have, to be able to, add to those different kinds of probiotics that are in the digestive system and help support that. Because, it's always amazing to me what my dog finds. My dog's name is Blizzard, and Blizzard, and he's into everything. He's trouble. And so, there's always going to be something that he's going to get into. And so as opposed to, having him get into something and then having some issues with that, like, using this every day really, again, keeps that healthy probiotic level, that beneficial bacteria level in his system. And so then, you don't have to really worry about, when something happens. Hopefully that will help him a little bit when that does happen, right? Because, dogs, they get into the garbage, right? They're chewing on your shoes, they get into your underwear maybe, so those kinds of things. So, again, we want to be able to give them something because you want to be able to help them have a healthy digestive system no matter what. So, it's great to be able to do that. And again, make it easy, make it simple, and, and then it's just an easy part of the routine to be able to do. And, and it's great because it lasts a long time. It's a 4-ounce bottle. It's a small bottle. So you look at it and go, oh, that's not going to last very long. But, that lasts my dog about 3 months.
Because it's measured. When you spray it, your measured dose is out. It's not like you're going, with the dropper or with powder it gets everywhere. This is totally measured when you spray it. So it lasts a long time.
Yeah, and for a large dog, it will last about a month. So it really does last a long time. And so for the little bit of effort that you need to put into there, it really can make a difference and help support that good health, like you always like to do with your dogs, right? They're part of our family. We just want them to feel great every day.
Now, in talking about making our pets feel great every day, why don't you tell us about Bil-Jac Foods? Because Bil-Jac Foods is a wonderful organization, and they have so much out there, whether it be for the picky eater, whether it be for the overweight dog, all of that. And then you have some new, I think, purees, the pâtés are out there. So there's so much. So why don't you tell us about that? And of course, my favorite little treats.
Yeah. We have been around for over 70 years. It's our 70th year. We're so excited. And it's one of those things where we really feel like we want to have a wide array of nutrition available for dogs, right? Not every dog is the same. There's slight differences in what a small breed like Miss Olive would like and would need to be healthy versus a large breed dog. And we also have specific kinds of different recipes for dogs, like you said, who are picky. For example, we just came out with a new formula called Picky No More, and it uses chicken liver in it. And that's chicken liver is what's in those delicious little treats that you love and Miss Olive loves, right? So it's one of those things where it's really even taking our taste, which is we have really great taste because we use a lot of fresh chicken when we make our food. For example, we use 25 pounds of fresh chicken to make a 30-pound bag of our adult select dog food. And so when you add a little bit of chicken liver in there to just take it to the next level, it's amazing. Especially if you have a really picky dog. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating and disappointing than that. So it's you just want your dogs to be happy and be eating and be healthy. So we really look for foods that are both nutritious but also taste great to be able to help them, live a nice, healthy life.
Well, and we talk about the treats, and all of mine love the treats, and a lot of people that I know, their pets just adore those treats, and because they're so easy. They come in different sizes, and of course, I like the little one, and it helps me to keep everyone in line because I kind of bribe them with them. But also the food, like you said, the picky eaters. I'm into taking stress off the pet parent because I want the pet parent to, the relationship to be just so wonderful with their pet. And with the picky eaters, that helps because sometimes it's so stressful when you're going, oh my gosh, my dog won't eat anything. And then you find something out there like that, and it's like an answer to like pet prayers. Hi, thank you.
Yeah, yes, and we've been hearing that kind of feedback from people like, thank you, my dog is finally eating. Or, a lot of times people are having to make food for them, or they're having to sit on the floor and hand feed them.
Yes.
Like it can be really stressful. It can take up a lot of time, and that's the last thing you want to spend your time with your dog on, right? Is feeding them, right? That should be the last thing you have to think about, right? You should have a good quality food. They should love to eat it and be happy on it, and so it's good to be able to kind of take that worry away. and, and kind of focus on all the other things, right? Spending time together, playing, cuddling, of course.
Exactly. And just because we love the Breakthrough Biotics so much, and Miss Olive has actually she's living proof. What she did was she selected Breakthrough Biotics as one of her favorite things and Miss Olive's favorite things that's featured in the September-October issue of Suncoast Pet Magazine. And you can go online, everyone can go online to suncoastpet.com, see the article. It is on page 30, and you can see the Breakthrough Biotics right up there under Olive. And one of the things that we talked about is in what she brings up is my mom loves it because there's no messy powders. It doesn't need to be refrigerated. And I love it because it helps my sensitive tummy and the flavor is so delicious. Thank you so much, Bil-Jac, because I feel and look so good.
Oh, thank you so much. That's so great news. And please give her a big hug from all of us here at Bil-Jac, because that's very nice of her to do that. We're so glad. We're honored that we can give her something that she would, feel good on.
Yes, and she does. She's feeling good and looking good. And of course, with her, it's all about looking good too. So, for people who want to know more about Bil-Jac and, find out what's out there, can you give us the website information?
Yeah, absolutely. Our website is Bil-Jac.com. It's BIL-JAC.com. And I always recommend people start there. We have a great newsletter that you can sign up for there, that you can get monthly tips.
Yes.
You can also, when that newsletter comes out, we often have a coupon request area in there, so you can ask for a coupon. We also are out in the digital space, so we're out on Facebook and Twitter and Pinterest and Instagram. We've got some great training videos, just a couple minutes long. Not a big long time that you have to spend, right? Just a couple minutes, and a good couple tips on how to train your dog to do normal kind of average tricks, but then also some party kind of fun tricks to do, especially with the weekend coming along. You have a couple days, you might be able to get an extra new trick in there before you have a cookout this weekend, right?
Yes, absolutely.
And then also we also have a dog blog out there, so we post a lot of the articles and everything out there, so people can again, find out what they can do to do the best thing, do the right thing for their dog, and keep them healthy and happy.
Well, one thing that Miss Olive and I want to do is we want to thank you for the wonderful article that went out in your newsletter. We appreciate, number one, our partnership with you, and you've been with us throughout the years, and we appreciate and we love Bil-Jac, and we thank you very much for, recognizing what Miss Olive does, and before that, Sophia did out in the community and did everything that they could to, kind of be a voice for the voiceless.
Well, we really appreciate all the work that you do. I mean, there are so many dogs and pets out there that really need your help, that need the help of everyone out there who's listening to find a healthy, happy home, right? To find their forever home.
Yeah.
And so the work you do is really great, and so we really wanted to honor that work by featuring you guys in the newsletter and the story this month, and be able to, kind of talk about what happens when your passion, right, becomes kind of something that you do as a career and kind of as something you do on a regular basis. So it was great to be able to talk about that, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of other people who it'll touch them too in terms of what Miss Al and what Miss Sophia have done over the years and all the great things. So thank you so much for being the voice for the voiceless.
Oh, thank you. And we're firm believers in Bil-Jac, and we love what you guys do, and we love what you guys offer to the pet community. And I have to thank you. So, and again, it was great. We really felt that everybody needed to know about the Breakthrough Biotics, because I'm sitting here looking at her and she's looking mighty fine. She loves it. And I actually give it to my other two too. So my other two girls get it also. I wanted to let you know definitely how Miss Olive was, because that's the reason why we got it, was she would be the definite litmus test. And for those of you listening out there, if you have someone with a sensitive tummy, or you wanted to just start by getting into probiotics into your pet's meals, this is a really easy, safe, and it's a great way to do it. I'm looking at her, and she's living proof. So, that's great. Yeah. Thank you very much, Kim. And as always, you bring us great news and great information, and we look forward to talking to you again soon.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for talking a little bit about biotics with us today. And we really appreciate all that you do for us as well. So thank you so much.
We would like to thank our guests this week, and also, as our Doggy Divas always say, please love your pets because they love you unconditionally, and please remember to adopt, foster, spay, neuter, and microchip. And as always, please have a great Diva week, everyone.
That's all for this episode of The Doggy Diva Show. To find out more, go to our website, thedoggydiva.com. Also, find us on our Facebook page, The Doggy Diva Show, and tell your fellow dog lovers about it. Don't miss Susan Marie, Miss Olive, and the Doggy Divas right here for the next episode. See you again soon.
Let's Talk Pets, every week on demand, only on PetLifeRadio.com.